Thanks.
Happy to see you, Luke.
Hey. Where's the baby at?
Give her some of your Need some enzymes to wake her up?
No, but I got some probiotics that taste really good. You know, I walked into a house and there was 4 Rottweilers that protect the house, you know. I walk in there and I kind of like, at first I kind of cringed because these are, they don't take to anybody. So I immediately pulled my bag out, my Enzyme bag, and I pulled out some probiotics. This is a true story, right? I pulled out some probiotic powder and I put it in my hand and I said, here. And these are friendly bacterial cultures, and it's Lactobacillus plantarum and Lactobacillus salivarius, and they're grown on a rice protein, and they actually taste quite good, right? But animals know what's good for them, and they really like probiotics. They love it. Okay. So anyway, I sprinkled some in my hand, quite a bit, and I put it in front of the Rottweilers, and they just went for it. They loved it, and they immediately became my friends, you know. And every time I walk in the house now, they just lick me all over and ask me for more, you know. True story. Amazing. And the husband and wife that own these dogs, they said they'd never seen anything like it, where the animals would take to somebody and just love the person like that, become friends that quick. So I thought it was pretty amazing. So if she keeps crying, I got probiotics right here, because I had a lady. True story again. I had a lady that was about 45 years of age, and she had massive pain in her stomach. She kind of went like this in front of me, like this. She doubled over, and I says, if you could believe and trust in me enough, I would like to give you some probiotics because they're really good for the stomach. And so I gave it to her. I gave her a teaspoon of this stuff. And within 3 minutes, the pain was gone. She was like totally blown away by that. And this is a person who has all the money in the world and suffered with all this pain and couldn't believe just a little dibble of, oh, yeah. She said yes. She wants probiotics, she said. I got to move fast. Oh, here it is.
Here we go.
These are probiotics.
Probiotics?
Yeah.
Probiotics.
Okay. Now you want to just put it in your mouth and suck on it, or you want to do it like this? Wow.
Want to go like, okay. Yum.
I want some.
You want some? Okay. You want to go straight in your mouth?
Head back. No, head back.
You want to just go straight for it? You just want to dissolve in your mouth?
Put it in your mouth and chew on it.
And just chew on it, yeah, and it'll dissolve in your mouth very quick.
Oh, she wants to open it up. Open your.
Oh, she's going to do it herself.
Put your head back. Okay. Okay, head back. Now chew. There you go. Chew harder.
It'll dissolve in a few moments.
And then tell me what it tastes
Is
like.
it starting to break loose?
You can feel it?
Is it starting to get in your mouth?
It tastes like candy. Is this a paid advertisement?
Here, Daddy. You try one like that so you know what she's taking, what she's
Here we go.
eating.
Ready? I'm going to do this one. Put it in my mouth. Put it in my mouth. Put it in Daddy's mouth. Okay. Oh.
Did you catch it?
Do it again. I'll find it.
Well, it's okay, yeah.
Oh, here it is. Do it again. My mouth. Okay. Thank you.
I want more.
Okay. Open your mouth. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
I want the big one now.
The big one.
Can I hold it?
No.
Yeah, oh.
It's spilled. It's spilled. Is that good, sweetie?
Can you turn the tap for me?
Yeah, you bet.
Can you tell me what it's really good?
It's really good.
This is good, honey. Okay, open your mouth. And head back. Head back. And swallow. Oh, yeah, drink it. It's good beer, too, so. Okay, put the whole thing in your mouth and chew it. It's like candy. Put the whole thing in.
It's candy.
It's candy, yeah. Okay. Oh, she seems to be much better now. Put it in your mouth and chew it.
I had another true story. I had a mother called me up, and she says, hysterically, she was just freaking out. She calls me up, and she says, my little 2-year-old, oh.
There you go. Okay. Put some water in it.
What was her name again? Rena. Thank you, Rena.
Oh my.
Okay, in a little bit, okay? Anyway, true story. It was, Alex, what's your age, the age of Rena? 2.5. 2.5. This was a 2-year-old. It was a little boy, and he was just opened up a bottle and just start eating the probiotics, right? Half a bottle was gone by the time the mother found out about it, and she was just going berserk. She was thinking it was bad that the child ate this many, right? Ate too many, right? Thought it was going to get sick or something. And so I just laughed on the phone, and I said, oh, don't worry about it. She might have a little he might have a little cleanup, but it's not going to be a problem. It'll actually be very good for the child. So anyway, the child ended up just, but the child had what they call colic, respiratory problems, digestive problems, and the child was just craving the stuff. Interesting enough, the child afterwards did have a little clean out, and the respiratory problem went away. Pretty interesting. So, and it happens to be one of the things we're going to be talking about here in this workshop about probiotics. Because see, most people don't know about friendly bacterial cultures and how they reestablish intestinal flora in your intestinal tract. And so it's one of those kind of things we need to talk about. We didn't talk too much about it at the introduction, the overview of the concept when we talked earlier. By the way, is there anyone here that wasn't here when I first talked this morning? Okay, so there's a few people. Let me see. Is Wes here? He's making a smoothie. Ian, would you do me a kind favor and see if they have any oatmeal cereal left? If not, make up a little bit and just bring me 1 cup of it. Yeah, so I can do a little oatmeal demonstration just for the new people. I can do it in a couple minutes, just to kind of catch them up to speed a little bit so they know what's going on a little bit. Thanks. So where do we start? We talked earlier about how in 1973, when I was 28 years ago, I had suffered with a big tumor, massive acne, asthma, and arthritis, remember? We talked about the fact that I had digestive problems where I was going to the bathroom every 2 to 3 weeks at a time. Parasite problems, allergies, hay fever, candida, which is a yeast infection in the body. We talked about all that. And learning this concept, it was gone in 6 months. So it's very, very powerful. But I had to do a lot of drastic things to allow me to achieve that kind of success that quick to achieve it. So sometimes when you want to accelerate healing, knowing what I know now, I could have done it even much quicker. But I didn't know what I know now, and that's okay. But now, because of the experience and being able to work with thousands of people all over the country, I've been able to see what works, what doesn't work, what works faster and quicker and easier and that kind of thing. So I think by now, being in this life for a while now, you probably realize that there's about 20% of the things that you do in this life that really count, that really make a difference, that make things work for you. And I think in the industry, you know that it's about 20% of the people that actually run the world and make the difference in this life. The other 80% are just kind of here chilling, just existing, taking advantage of the pleasures of life. But it's about 20% that actually make the difference in this life. But the things that you do in this life that really, truly make the difference in your life, it's about 20%. The other things are kind of like things that you don't even have to even do. So when it comes to food, it's about 20% of the things that you eat that actually sustain you. The other 80% is the stuff that just kind of runs through you or lugs behind and sets you up for disease and sickness. I don't know if you knew that, and I don't know if you knew this either, but there's about 60% of your energy is going to working on trying to get rid of, digesting and getting rid of and eliminating the stuff you put inside yourself that sets you up for problems later on down the road. So if we can learn what that 20% is, it's gonna definitely revolutionize you and keep you in place. So the whole idea now is, what can we do to take in the things that really count and make a difference, and try to do our best to eliminate the things that degenerate us and set us back and hold us back from excelling, from vibrating and radiating and beaming and having tons of energy and vitality, right? So there's who knows how to spell really good? I need anabolic. Anabolic. Is that right? Okay. I think that's anabolic or cannabolic. Okay. So in the beginning, when you first start in this life, you're anabolic. That means that you basically are able to heal, restore, regenerate your cells and keep young and youthful and radiant and all that. You know, when you're a baby, you know how a lot of times when you're very little, you used to fall and fall on your face, hurt yourself, but you heal very quickly. That's when you're anabolic. And then later on down the road, when you might hit, let's just give a figure of speech here. Let's just put 30 of age, and then you start becoming cannabolic. That means you don't heal as quick. You might get a cut, and it heals slower, compared to when you're anabolic. So this is when you start showing the aging process kicking in, right? So the more anabolic you can be, the better off you're going to be, right? So you can be anabolic up to 80 and still heal quick and do fine. You know, my mentor that I shared with you earlier that taught me how to heal myself as well as helping me to teach others how to heal themselves, he was explaining to me that people that were 80, the women in another country that were still bearing children at 80 years of age, they actually looked like 35 to 40-year-old women in this country. So imagine any of you that are 35 to 40 here, imagine actually being 80 and still looking and feeling like you do today and still bearing children. Isn't that amazing? But I can tell by listening to you and your response, you don't really want to be having children when you're 80, do you? Did you hear that? Well, if you can live to 150, why not, she says. That's the first time in 12 years I've heard that. That's really, really something. But being anabolic is really where we want to be as much as we can, as long as we can. Because this is where you can be young, youthful, heal, regenerate, and radiate. And so this is where we want to be. But if you're going to take anything dead, any kind of a dead substance into your body, whether it comes from plant or animal, then it's going to accelerate you to become more cannabolic. So what can you do to offset that? Well, we talked about enzymes earlier, that if you take enzymes on a consistent basis, it will allow you to stay more anabolic. Because you see, if you're going to violate the body, because they've already discovered scientifically, Dr. Abraham and many other doctors, scientists, people that live long lives, they've proven, documented, that people that live the longest feel the best, look the best, do the best, and hold as well, and heal very well after even with injuries. They have a history of living on foods that are live, natural, organic, and they take the time to sprout their seeds before they eat them. They eat fruits and vegetables in the raw state. They eat the herbs fresh, raw. And one of the things I didn't mention earlier, this is a workshop, so I can mention this now. But my mentor, this is for when you're desperate and you want to regenerate. You can see that I was pretty desperate for my life, and I was trying to recover quickly because I was dying, right? So my mentor actually took me outside and showed me 3 plants: Melva, comfrey, and alfalfa. And I ate those 3 plants in water for 2 months. You know, that's all I had, you know. And that was pretty rough, because you have to understand, for those of you out there that don't like to change or your lifestyle or your habits or whatever, if you could imagine this, but I was used to having my burgers and my steaks and my fried foods, fast foods, pastries, candy bars, you know, whatever. I ate just like anybody else out there in the world today, and mostly cooked food, very little fresh and raw, and that's what I was accustomed to. So when I go out in the backyard of this wonderful man's house, and his wife, 2 little girls, takes me outside and shows me 3 plants. I pick them, I take them in the house, chop them all up, put them in a bowl, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just doing what he says, right? It was like have you ever seen the Karate Kid movie? It was that kind of relationship. I just did what he said. He was boss, and he was my teacher, so I did what he said, right? So I walk in, I chop everything up, wash them, scrub, and chop it all up, put it in a bowl, and he says, okay, sit down. I sit down, he says, okay, now eat. Eat? That? You know, it was like, you got to be joking, you know. I mean, there's the weeds, you know, I'm going to eat these weeds, you know. I'm just going, oh, God, it was great. You know, so anyway, I'm just, oh, yeah. Yes, just bring them up. Yeah, 2 of them, yeah. Yeah, I'll split it up, yeah. Oh, you don't have like a little container, like a little, oh. Yeah, like a little cup or something. Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great. So anyway, so my mentor said, wait. Aren't you the one that said you're willing to do whatever it takes? And I said, yeah. But I didn't realize it was going to be like this. And, you know, because, I mean, I already had submitted to do whatever it takes to get well. Pay the price, do whatever it takes. So he called me on it. He held me accountable, right? So I took a bite, choked, swallowed, took another bite, chewed, choked, swallowed, and I went through that big bowl of these weeds, you know. They're really herbs, very healing herbs, very powerful healing herbs. But to me, they were weeds, and they were yucky. Yeah, they were. But I went ahead and ate them because I knew that he was doing something that I believed in him. Because you see, when you see somebody who looks 30, 32 and is 52, dark hair, radiant, healthy, strong, vibrant, and probably one of the strongest men I ever met, and he was amazing. And I just, you know, I knew that somehow God connected me with him, and I knew I had to listen to him and abide to his teachings. And plus, he had traveled for 30 years learning this stuff. So I knew the guy was credible. I knew he knew his stuff. And so I just felt like I needed to listen to him, do and abide to what things he taught me. So I reluctantly ate the stuff, and I got it down me, and I lived like that for 2 months in water. And it wasn't easy, but let me tell you this. After those 2 months, the candida was gone, the allergies gone, the hay fever was gone, and I was feeling better. I started eliminating, cleaning out, detoxifying, and the acne was starting to clear up, and I did some other things he taught me, but within 6 months, the tumor was gone, the asthma was gone, the acne was gone completely. They used to call me pizza face, you know, and I never really had girlfriends in high school or in the Air Force because I had so much acne, and I was so embarrassed to even ask for a date, you know, and so I know what it's like to look very, very ugly, and I know what it's like to be skin and bones and dying in bed. I know what it's like to suffer, have a lot of pain. I know what it's like to wish to just be taken and just die because I didn't want to live anymore because it was so miserable to be here. So I've been through my challenges, you know, but I'm very thankful to have made it through all that. so that I can be here before you and many others out there in the world, so that I can hopefully inspire them, motivate them, and educate them to a point where they go, wow, this is pretty interesting and amazing, and it makes sense, it lines up, and I want to do it too. And then from there, as they embrace the concept and start really looking at it and working with it and utilizing it and incorporating it into their lives, all of a sudden, all this cellulite or plaquing or diabetes or cancers or tumors and this and that, all of a sudden it's just kind of disappearing, because you see, when you start feeding the body on a cellular level, thank you, sweetie, appreciate it. When you start feeding the body on a cellular level and releasing the toxins on a cellular level, the body has the ability to regenerate itself. This is not, supplements and lifestyle and all that is not a, we're not talking about a cure-all here thing here. What we're talking about is, how can we feed the body on a cellular level? How can we release the toxins on a cellular level? By the way you pray, by the way you think, by the way you feel, and how you express, how you take in the outside. How would you say it? You know how sometimes people talk to you and the things they say to you, and what have you. How do you take that? How do you deal with it? See, some people know how to deal with the challenges and diversities of life, and some people don't. So some people can be ridiculed and then be crushed by it. But when you become so strong and so secured within yourself, to that you know that you yourself is connected spiritually, and you know that you're special, and you've been given a gift of love, and your love unconditionally, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, and you know also that we're all interconnected, and we're all been brought here for a purpose and a reason. And no matter who we are, no matter what color we are, no matter how we think, what we say, no matter what language you have, no matter what culture you come from, we're all interconnected no matter what. And we all have our own special qualities. And when we learn to respect and honor ourselves as well as others, and between love, respect, and honor thyself and as well as others, it brings on a new light within yourself and within each other. And so then when it comes to the food that you eat, the same thing applies. When you see the food that you eat and you start making choices of what you're going to eat, when somebody does something bad to you, and you want them bad, you want to go after them. Some people don't care whether they're alive or dead, right? So when it comes to food, do you want it live or dead? So when you take the food into your body, if it's dead, you better do something about compensating for it, because if you don't, you're going to pay part of your life for it. You're going to give up part of your own life, a little portion of your life, in exchange for it. And you're going to degenerate, and you're going to premature age and have premature death. It's going to happen. They've already proven it scientifically now. We have the research to back it up now. We've got the enzyme research, back it up. We got Dr. Edward Howe. We got Centilio. We got Chitchoke. We got a lot of data and science to back it up now. So what do we do about it? Well, you see how sticky, still pretty hot, still steaming. You see the steam coming up? Anyway, you can see that it's pretty sticky and gooey, right? And actually in a few minutes, it'll actually get stickier and gooier, and it won't even come off the spoon, right? So what I'm going to do, these are pharmaceutical grade plant organic full spectrum enzymes. And all I'm going to do here is just put the enzymes back that was cooked out of the food, right? And all we're really doing is just putting the enzymes back that was cooked out of the food. So this way, when you eat cooked food, by taking a few of these at that time, at that moment, it's going to help you pre-digest the food in your stomach, so that when it goes into the small intestinal tract, it's going to allow you to be able to absorb the nutrients through the walls of the intestinal tract into the blood, into the cells, and feed you on a cell level. And that's how you're going to feed yourself from now on a cellular level, because that's where you're supposed to do it. If you eat raw food, fresh fruits and vegetables, herbs, sprouted seeds, and that kind of thing, now you're feeding yourself on a cellular level. And if you don't eat raw food, then you better take some enzymes to help compensate for it, because if you don't, you're going to end up using more of your own metabolic enzymes in order to digest that cooked food, more than you remanufacture in return, and then become enzyme depleted. Does that all make sense once again?
Why don't you just liquefy it with water?
And then it'll turn hard again, because that's exactly what we did. We took some water, we boiled it up, we cooked it up, and it became real stiff and gooey. That's exactly what we did. And then but by putting enzymes in it, the enzymes actually went in there and broke down the oatmeal as well as other cooked food. It breaks it down, liquefies it in your stomach like you're supposed to. That's called pre-digestion. That's what you're supposed to do to your food when you eat. Chew your food really well, and then it gets pre-digested in your stomach with enzyme reaction. But if you cook the food, then you have to use the enzymes, your stomach enzymes, and to help break it down. But guess what? It doesn't all happen. It doesn't completely get broken down. What you end up with is partial digestion of your proteins, carbs, and fats. Excuse me. And then your pancreas secretes enzymes. And that pancreas will actually secrete more enzymes to help complete that digestion as it's getting into the system. It's getting into the small intestinal tract. But here's the problem. See, a lot of people, when they eat cooked food, they eat it, it goes in, it gets processed, and they eliminate it, and they think they're doing fine. But see, scientifically, they actually proved that your pancreas will work harder to make up for the enzymes that are missing in your food before you eat the food. You know, like dead food, it actually secretes more to make up for what's missing in the food to help do what? Digest it, so it can do what? So it can assimilate and utilize those nutrients and eliminate the waste. But here's the problem with that. What happens is that the pancreas works harder than it's supposed to. And what happens with that is that after a while, the pancreas gets tired, because that's not its job to work so extra hard to make up for that. So what happens is your immune system starts weakening. What happens is you start borrowing from Paul to pay Peter to take care of Tom, to take care of that dead food, to make up for it. So bless you. So the immune system weakens in that process. You start robbing enzymes from other parts of your body to give extra energy to the pancreas to secrete those enzymes to digest that cooked food. And you keep robbing from yourself like that and borrowing from Paul and Peter and everything to give it to Tom to get the job done. Well, you're going to pay a dear price for that. Right on, bro. So anyway, by the way, is there a cup I can borrow here? Okay. Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and put some lemon inside these here so we can give it to the. Where's the blender anyway? Where's the lemon thing? Oh, okay. Let's put some in there and give it some now. Just a little trickle. Okay. Remember the oatmeal that was all sticky and gooey? You see how it's liquefied now? See? Now you're thinking, oh my God, if I'm going to take these enzymes, it's going to come out the other end like that, right? I knew that's what you're thinking, you know. Not the case, because what the case is when the case is that the enzymes are going to break down, liquefy, and all that, and when it goes into the small intestinal tract, now that it's pre-digested like that, it's going to go into a tube, your small intestinal tract, which is pretty long. It's about 20 feet or so, right? As it's going through that tube, it's feeding every section of your body and is absorbing through the walls, into the blood, into the cells. By the time it gets down to the other end, it's going to get into the colon, which is about 6-7 feet long, however. But when it gets into the colon, it's going to still keep absorbing. But when it gets down to the other end, when you go to evacuate and eliminate the waste, it's going to be a soft, easy elimination. It's going to float or semi-float. It's going to be just a very faint odor. But if you've ever gone to the bathroom or ever gone to the bathroom after somebody else, and if you ever said something like, oh my God, it seems like something died in here, If you ever had that experience, okay, then you know that it was generally dark, it sank, and it left a bad odor. Well, what that odor is, it didn't get properly digested, metabolized, and utilized, and it putrefied, fermented, and acidified. And so the person's running quite dehydrated.